We're gonna do everything at 6:45.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to call our Tuesday meeting to order. And I'd like to welcome our president, Mr. Vince Bollinger, to the meeting. Thank you.
You could all please join me. Join me in leading our flag and the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a timer today.
That would be me. I need to get my special cards.
Do so.
Yes. Right. Do I have an introduction?
Yes.
Oh, the invocation. Right. Oh, I need a little green.
But you can go ahead and take that one.
Okay. No, stop sweating the small stuff because 100 years from now, no one will care.
You may all be seated. We have a handful of guests here, and what we like to do is we like to ask them to stand up, tell us a little about yourself, what brought you here. I think I have an idea, but let's start over here.
My name is Chris Passion. I'm from the Lima Lakes Toastmasters, and we are here to steal the elusive gilded gavel. I'm Phyllis Moore. I'm also here to steal your gavel. We're from Lima Lakes way up there. We got it for like 5:30 this morning. So we're here. We're eager.
Roseanne Miller from Lima Lakes, and I am an accomplice. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lisa Burnside. I'm also with the Lima Lakes Toastmasters Club, and I am also your District 6 2015-2016 web editor. And if anybody would like to help with the website, we would greatly appreciate that because obviously the Toastmaster year switches over July 1st, and we have a ton of work to do when we do the switch over. And Michael Gerner will actually be taking over, so 2016-2017 incoming web editor.
Well, I don't think we have any technical people here. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. I don't know. It's working in the bank somewhere. And we do this at the end. Good. So we can keep it whole.
You have to be here through the whole meeting.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because then it just run off with it, right? All right. So next is up. The previous meeting's minutes. Was the secretary? We have them. I'm not sure if you were here last week.
I was here last week. I did take some notes.
Great.
Let's see what we
It's all
have.
adding up. This is going to work out well.
Thank you. Notes from last meeting. Toastmaster was Leanne. Court jester was myself. Grammarian was Clea with her word aficionado. Table topics was by Tony. I'm sorry I didn't write down his subject. General evaluator was Jesse. Speaker number 1 was Vince on Toastmasters Revitalized Education Program, evaluated by Marie. Speaker number 2 was Katie Shimizu, and her topic was Happy Accidents, How I Escaped from the Lab, evaluated by Brett. Awards were Wise Old Owl, myself. Best evaluation by Brett. Best speaker, Katie. Visual Impact Award was awarded to Vince.
All right. Great. So we're going to move on to new business here. I believe we have one item up right away here is to induct a new member. I received I assume good check from Eric over here. And if we could have the Sergeant Arms escort Mr. Eric out of the room here. Coast clear. Thank God. Okay. So we have a person who wants to join our club for some reason. Does anybody know of this character? Guy? Well, I personally do in a sense that I talked about a meetup. He seemed like a human. And I did receive a check. I'm going to assume it's good. All works out. He filled out a form.
He's attended at least 6 meetings.
Yeah, something like 4 or 6 meetings. So I think probably going to be an outstanding member. Do we have any discussion on that? Further discussion of the environment? Okay, well, the chair calls to the question, the action item of electing Eric to our club. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. You guys want to see? Great. All right. Now, I would like to, I'm not going to force you to read this, it's going to take a couple minutes, but the whole idea in general here is that as a member of Toastmasters, you're going to come to the meetings as frequently as you can, and you're going to put your best effort forth to not only improve yourself, but to help the club grow as well. Thank you, Eric. All right, a couple more items here. I think for new business, I think that's all done, and since there are no actual promotion items. Next time announcements. Do we have any announcements today? Before I list the handful. Okay, so I think the biggest thing that we'll get out of the way is that when we first started, we were located at Benchmark Learning, which was within a mile from here, and it was a really great atmosphere for us. It's an educational setting. They host a lot of training. They host a lot of professional development. When we think about Toastmasters, especially TechMasters, it was a very great fit. It was like we were just part of the club, right? And they ended up being bought by ITT Tech, and they ended up closing Benchmark Learning, and we had to move. And when we came over here, we said, you know, we really need some help. We need a new location and everything. And we had put out the point from the very get-go that this was probably going to be a very temporary thing. And Island has been an amazing host. They've done everything we could ever ask for. But we met and we've been kind of going from time to time, checking out various different locations. And there was an open house last fall, winter, something like that, at a place that had sent out an email to me and said, you know, hey, we want to host youth groups and meetups and stuff like that. So I went, go ahead and check them out. And I went there and I thought this space was phenomenal. And strangely enough, Mike was there the same day and ended up getting a job there. And so we have been in contact for a long time. And the last meeting that the club executive team had last couple weeks ago, we made a decision, I believe it was unanimous, to accept the offer from Improving Enterprises to become our new host. So starting on May 31st, that's what we're going to do. If you don't know where they are, they're very, very close to here. They're on the corner of France and 494. If the 3600, I think they call it the Normandale Executive Office Center. It's on the main floor. Right in the opening door, you walk in, and they're right away to the left. So we're excited about that move, and that will move into our next series of announcements here. Is we have talked about the Tech Month that we've been planning as part of our membership drive in June, and we have a lot of those things finalized. Fred sent me an email. I'll probably bring it up at the very end as far as what we need, but we have been getting some guest speakers lined up. I had talked to Justin Brand, who's kind of like this Internet of Things guru around here. He's put out a bunch of presentations. Yeah, the Internet of Things. He's done a lot of presentations and he's helped put together conferences and things like that. And he's agreed to come talk to us, give us a talk on IoT.
Who's this?
Justin Brand, kind of like the IoT guru in the Twin Cities. And we have, I was able to nail down a person who gives a presentation called Perfecting Your Pitch or something to that effect at an entrepreneurship group that I attend from time to time. And I believe we've talked to a handful of other people in the industry, and we're trying to nail down a couple of guest speakers, but at the same time, we still need our members to speak up. So we've had a couple people that have agreed to give particular talks, but we have a few. The 4 topics are going to be Internet of Things, the future, future of tech, and whatever you might think, and this developer's life, more like things slightly outside of development, and just code, whatever cool stuff you want to do, some new frameworks, new thing that came up. So we'll try to coordinate that between myself, Alex, and Brett. I want to hammer things out, get a completely finished itinerary this week. So we'll have that all set. And that will help us, we'll have the move, we'll have this Tech Month, and it will really help increase our membership. I believe we've had 2 people already want to join in May and June, so we're already 40% of the membership. So it's fantastic. Anyway, Beyond that, is there anybody else with any announcements?
Any questions about that?
I have a question.
Um,
How long are the speeches need to be for?
we're planning, we're slightly different schedule. We're kind of removing a couple of the auxiliary roles, and we're gonna have 4 speeches each week, but again, we're gonna have a guest speaker or 2 each week. And we're normal 5 to 7 minutes, but we're gonna be flexible. So if you really wanna talk for 10 or 20 minutes, feel free. And whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's within those parameters, have that. First come, first served, by the way. I'll send out an email after this, or maybe I'll make Brett do it after the meeting today, so that we'll get everything hammered out exactly as over. Any other announcements?
What's the effective date of the move?
May 31st will be our first week there. And again, it's very close, so it shouldn't put any kind of a crank in any of our travel plans or any timing that we have. All right, let's see, on May 14th and 15th, there's the Minnesota Information Security Conference. And of course, we are going to be at Open Source North again. We have a booth. There's a promo code for getting a discount on entry there. Thursday, June 9th at Northern Community College. All right, Words Tracker, get out your manuals, please. Are there any updates we didn't make to this? So basically what we're trying to do, if you have your manual, please bring it. If you don't have it, please bring it. Right? No manual speeches, mine was kind of impromptu. And, well, Katie's, of course, obviously. Yes. So first I'll put your name on there, and then I'll mark you down to the end of the speech. Great. All right, so today's Toastmaster. Today's Toastmaster is someone who's been very active since his rejoining of the club. He's been really asserting himself a lot, and I'm very happy to hear that and very happy to see that. And I'm happy to see where he takes us today. Please help me welcome today's Toastmaster, Jesse.
Welcome back, fellow TechMasters, welcome guests. So today our theme is Clean Your Room Day. So when I first found this online, I excitedly offered up to my daughters that we partake in this celebration. So I gave them, of course, my fatherly advice on how to organize the rooms better, asked them things like, do you really need that teddy bear from 12 years ago, and so on. So as I felt good about myself, I walked back into my office, and what do I see? USB cables that I couldn't fit in any device without a hammer, parallel cables, an iPhone 2, so on and so forth. And in any case, I thought this would be a fun theme for today. And we're going to start off with our court jester, Brian, who's going to tell us a funny story or joke.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. It's not exactly with the theme because I found it hard to find a theme or a joke with related to that, but it's related to the group. A man flying in a hot air balloon suddenly realizes he's lost. He reduces height and spots a man below. He lowers the balloon further and shouts to get directions. Excuse me, can you tell me where I am? The man below says, yes, you're in a hot air balloon hovering 30 feet above the field. You must work in information technology, says the balloonist. I do, replies the man. How do you know? Well, says the balloonist, everything you have told me is technically correct, but it is of no use to anyone. The man below replies, you must work in management. I do, replies the balloonist. But how did you know? Well, says the man, you don't know where you are or where you're going, but you expect me to be able to help. You're the same position you were before we met, but it's my fault.
Next up, we have Katie as our invitation timer. Could you tell us a little bit about your roles?
Okay, so I will be timing speeches, table topics, and whoever else is standing up, as I understand it. When you get within 2 minutes of your allotted time, I will be holding up the green card. At 1 minute, the yellow card. And when you have reached the countdown, I will be holding up the red card, and further time, I will probably be waving it around vigorously. At the end, I will let you know how long you did.
Excellent, thank you. So when I asked Katie about her desk, she had mentioned that she has a teething puppy that chewed through one of her pores. Had. Oh, sorry. I didn't know this, past tense.
He's older now.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, well then you're probably getting rid of that cord by now, I'm sure. Or maybe that. All right, so next up we have Alex, and Alex is our grammarian. Alex, could you tell us a little bit about our role and give us the word of the day?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I'm a grammarian today. Word of the day is raring. This is an adjective, and it comes like full of eagerness and enthusiasm. And let me read it in a sentence. I found many literature utilization of it, and one I like it very much. Historical example. The men were raring to be let loose to fight anybody or anything, as long as it promised them to fight. So raring, be eager or very excited and enthusiastic. Also, I would watch for visual expressions like or similar. For example, our problem accumulated like snowball rolling downfall. Something visual that may make imprints in people's mind during your table topic, during your speeches, during your evaluations. And also I will be counting filler words, arcs and arms, or kind of words that I'm using. Basically, I will count, filling words. So this type of words I will be counting, so you will have more smooth and clean speech. Thank you.
All right, now we have Vince, who's not only our president speaker today, but also our 1-minute Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. If you have any inclination to remember at any time I've ever given a 1-minute Toastmaster, I always like to claim it from our wonderful Toastmasters magazine. As members of Toastmasters, you get this tiny, flimsy little magazine once a month. Very easy to read. You read through it, no problem. And it's always jam-packed full of useful tips. In this one particular, it says, speaking one-on-one, 6 tips for better communication. So while we're here improving our public speaking and our evaluation skills and things like that, it can also help us improve our communications with people individually. And the tips that they give, for example, are consider your audience. And large picture, which makes me have to click the page. Examine your intent. Pay attention to your nonverbal cues. A lot of communication is not just verbal, but what it is that you're doing with your hands or your facial expressions, things like that. Listen intently. Communication isn't just about dominating conversation or trying to get your point across, but you need to be able to understand what the other person is saying. So listen intently, then acknowledge others. Again, we're kind of on the second part of making sure that the other person is involved. And last but not least is assert yourself. While you're trying to make sure that you listen to them, make sure that your values, your opinions are equally respected by the other people. Mr. Toastmaster.
For our table topics today, we have Nick. Although Nick didn't reply back, I got been to your house. Did? Well, anyways, I can say because I've been to your house that you have a very tidy house. I got the office space.
I was not.
Please welcome Nick.
Well, I want to say a special thank you to you, Jesse, because thanks to you, I was going through my closet and cleaning the heck out of it. And this is how I found this table topics. Actually, I had a small box of conversation starters that I forgot all about, and then, as I was cleaning everything, I found it. So today's topic is going to be out of the box, literally. So if you guys are looking for table topics, what you can do, you can buy those small boxes. They sell them everywhere. It's like conversational topics by by a subject, and you can use them. All right, so let's see, how many people have major roles today? Okay, all right. Well, no, I really want to start with the front row. So let's go for it. It's gonna be super easy, but again, all over the board. So first question, what is the best thing to mix into an ice cream?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow TechMasters, and welcome guests. What is the best thing to mix into an ice cream? Ice cream is one of my favorite desserts. I don't think I'm a connoisseur of ice cream because I really don't care what the ice cream is, whether it's Ben and Jerry's, Stone Creek, Izzy's, any of those things. Thank you, Alex. But I find myself more raring to go for ice cream when there's more toppings involved. The more toppings, the more choices. Like, for example, when I take my kids to Freeziac, they load it up with gummy bears and I don't know what and whatnot, some hard candy. I'm thinking, you can't really chew and enjoy the ice cream and those toppings together because they're not meant to be together. Like, you have to think through your process of cake, strawberries, whipped cream, caramel, hot fudge, whether you can add some granola or bananas or any other fruit. Don't do the pineapples because they don't really always mix with cream-based ice cream. You have to think through your process. Just like a sandwich, you have to layer it on and you have to layer it on perfectly because if you have too much of one thing, you're not going to enjoy it. I already used it, sir. But I'm always ready to go for ice cream as long as there are a lot of toppings and lots of options. Thank you, Mr.
Has anyone ever tried ice cream with liquor? I don't know why they don't serve it in freezing, but it actually tastes really good. All right, Loris, you're known as the man who's traveled a lot and really enjoys nature. So a question for you. What's the best place for a weekend getaway?
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. I'll start off by showing you a sample of what we're talking about today. I thought it would look fun. So everyone has one of these drawers at home. Just drop a miscellaneous topic here, miscellaneous item. So here is a good sample. A good weekend getaway. It would depend on the time of year. I would say right now we're coming into summer, and a good weekend getaway would be Lanesboro. I think Lanesboro is wonderful down south of Rochester. If you are into bicycling or you're into hiking, or even if you're not active and you just want to stroll around the town of Lanesboro and buy an item or two, get something to eat, it's wonderful. Bluff Country is a very nice area. You don't run into quite the traffic that you do if you're heading up to Brainerd or up to Duluth. The freeways in those directions become raceways on weekends, really, it seems. And going down towards Lanesboro, very nice getaway. The bike trail down there is regarded as, I've heard it described as the best in the country, the best bicycle trail. It's on a old railway, and it's just plain a beautiful area. I hope you're raring to go. Mr. Cable Alex, next week.
So I see some new faces. I don't see everybody's text. You, Mark? Eric, I'm sorry. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
All right. Well, can you tell us when and where you were the happiest in your life? One exception. Today's at Nicholas in the Club does not count.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Well, today is a glorious day, a very happy day. I think one of the times in my life when I was the happiest, thinking about work and just in general, was when I worked 4 10-hour days. And it was during a time in my life where I was single and I was kind of wandering and didn't always feel like I had a purpose. But that day off allowed me to get into physical shape. It was a day where I would go to the doctor, I would go to the dentist, because when I was in college, I would ignore taking care of myself. And that, having that time to take care of myself and that day off to kind of catch up, kind of really made it one of the best times of my life. And it helped me advance my career, helped me advance personally also. So that's one of the best times of my life. Thank you. That landed. I came out of it raring to go.
All right. So here's a question for you. What do you do to get rid of stress?
Mr. Topic Master, Toastmaster, welcome guests. Welcome to TechMasters, the place where I go to actually get rid of stress, because it's the one time of the week where I can actually say this is sort of like going to work, but it's also like a breath of fresh air, because you come in here, you hear some great ideas, you think about thoughts, you hear stories, you hear ideas expressed in new creative ways. You hear word pictures that come over like the clouds opening up and then pouring down this rain of inspiration. The kind of steak that's been overcooked and you're trying to raring it, but you can't because it's not well done. And to take that steak off and say, there's a little pink, there's a little bit of whatever, I think this is like a great meal where you really do get a lot of different ideas, a lot of different thoughts, and you walk out of here feeling just inspired for the rest of the week. And I take that with me. I take that with me to everything I do all week long, and really, really contributes and makes this all possible. And so for that, I thank everyone who shows up and for the growth of the club, and it's great to see so many people here, and I want to thank you for that great question, Mr. Topic Master.
I think we should make our actual Toastmasters here. They're here to abscond with our guilty gavel. Work for it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, excellent. Let's do that.
I'm a district officer, I'm required to.
Oh, here's a question for you. We'll pick a tough one.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Have you ever saved an animal's life or a person's life?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I am raring to answer this particular question. Unfortunately, I think the answer would have to be no. Impossibly. The regular stance of things of they were falling off the cliff. Never been there. Don't get near cliffs. In the fact of giving mouth to mouth to a dog or a frog for that matter, no, never done that either. However, when my husband and I do get our dogs, we get them from animal rescues, the humane societies, off of Craigslist, wherever. And in that instance, perhaps, I do believe maybe we have saved a dog's life, probably many dogs' lives. People's lives, I tend to do the thing with my mother as we're walking. You see, she talks and walks. The combination is not phenomenal because she doesn't pay attention to where she is. So as we are walking down the street and there are cars coming, I'll do one of these, save your life. That's not the only sense I could say where I've saved somebody's life or an animal's life. Thank you for allowing me to rear forward and answer your questions, Mr. Table Topic.
Very powerful. Which I just imagined how you're doing CPR on a frog. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Who else is eligible? The whole back row? So you're Leanne? Oh, we got a roll. Want to go?
We are good.
Sure. Okay.
Why not?
All right. Here's an easy one for you. What would be a really good flavor for toothpaste?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. On the question of what would be a really good flavor for toothpaste. Being that my wife is a hygienist, I get certain freedoms when I go to the dental office for my cleaning, meaning she allows me to choose any flavor that I want. And reflecting back on my history, when I was younger, I remember maybe 2 flavors. Now I think they have 10. It's almost like going to the old video store and you're presented with so many choices, you don't know which one to pick. However, I would have to say the favorite one of mine is bubblegum, because it takes me back to the time when I used to buy baseball cards. And for those of you that know me, I know nothing about sports. I would literally throw the cards away or give them to my friends, and I would eat that awful, dry, floured gum that they would put in those baseball cards. So I would say bubble gum is the best flavor for.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
We go back to the back row. Do we get time? Timer?
We have 3 more minutes.
3 more minutes. should we go back to the back row? Unfortunately, I don't know anyone's names. You wanna go? All right. Well, let's do this. What is the most beautiful place you have ever been to?
Thank you, Mr. Joe. TechMasters, fellow Toastmasters. The most beautiful place I have ever been to, I would have to say, is the Black Hills, South Dakota. Being able to see the beauty that is Mount Rushmore and the mountains and the buffalo and all the other animals there is fantastic. I've traveled there twice, once in June and once in March. And I have to tell you, going in March was actually better with regards to the weather. You would think if you're going in the middle of summer, which I would consider June to be, you wouldn't expect a 45-degree day and hail the size of a quarter to hit your brand new camper, but it does happen. However, the last time I was there, it was in March, and it was absolutely beautiful. 75 degrees, couldn't have asked for better weather. The only disappointing feature was that most of the attractions that normally are open during the summer were not open. So I would definitely have to say the most beautiful place in my mind, as far as the places I've traveled so far, would be the Black Hills in South Dakota.
Excellent. Thank you, Bert. Do we have time for one more? Okay, so that's a good go. Let's see. Well, we really don't have. Let's give like I don't know, between you two ladies, who wants to go? You want to go? Okay. Yep. Since you came the last, you'll go the last. All right. And I'm sorry. What's your name?
Jody K. Peterson.
Jody. Nice to meet you, Jody. All right. Let's see. What do we have? So, what's your favorite time, Jody, to waste time? I mean, what's your favorite way to waste time?
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmaster. My favorite way to waste time is watching reality shows. I am a big sucker for all the reality TV that are TV shows currently on TV because they're just mindless entertainment for me. Going to school and going to work, I have some pretty stressful time. So certainly when I get a chance to not think about too much, I'm certainly going to want to do that. I like the ones from Fear Factor to Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Some of you might say, why would you want something like that? But again, mindless entertainment, there's some really good drama and some really good belly laughs that I can say, I love watching The Voice. Talent, really big on that. America's Got Talent. And now they have a pretty nice one called Little Big Shots. They're these little kids that come up with all these great talents and it makes you think, oh my goodness, look at all these kids with all these talents and geniuses. So my favorite way to waste time, per se, Mr. Topic Master, is just watching reality shows.
This is awesome. Thank you, Jody. Well, this brings us to the end of our table topics, and please welcome back our Toastmaster. This brings us to our break. At this point, we got 5 minutes, and ask the speakers, evaluators, and Mike to come forward. Or did you already sign?
No, we didn't.
And Mike?
Yeah. So Jonathan's here.
I thought we were.
You're not filling.
Sure.
William?
Yeah.
You mind doing that to evaluator?
No, I'll do it. I would not mind doing it.
It is.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Right, yeah, I know, I was going to reply, someone up here.
Yeah, if you don't use it, you're like something like
I got a lot more.
Welcome you all back after our break and hand it back over to our Toastmaster, Jesse.
So first up, we have Gwen, who's doing our icebreaker, and the topic is my two greatest passions. Now, when I asked Gwen about her clutter on her desk, she had mentioned something that's near and dear to my heart, which is going paperless. So I hope that works for you. Please help me welcome Glenn.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
It's
Morning.
great to be here. I am raring to go and tell you about my two greatest passions. First of all, so my two greatest passions are my new business and my dog, who is a rescue dog, by the way. I share that passion as well. First of all, I want to tell you about my new business. It's Grow Coaching and Consulting. 1 year ago, I left the corporate world, like many of you, and joined and started my own company. The name of my company is Grow Coaching and Consulting. The previous 15 years, I had been with children's hospitals and clinics of Minnesota as an internal organization development consultant. In fact, for my entire career, I've been an internal training and development professional. So 1 year ago, and I knew that at some point during my career, I would have an opportunity or I'd want to go independent. So 1 year ago, the opportunity presented itself and I took it. So as a result, I am now the proud owner of a business called Grow. And the Grow stands for Gwen Renal on Work. Just so happens that my initials lended itself to a word that is very related to development of people, and I really believe in helping people develop and do their best at work. The main organizing principles around the work that I do are to help leaders develop in the context of themselves as individuals, as teams, and within the organization to help them align their own goals and passions with the strategies and objectives of the organization. One of my basic beliefs or core beliefs is that you can't get where you're going unless you know what your vision is. And so I help people clarify where they want to go. Now this little guy is special to me, especially in the last couple of weeks. He represents to me self-responsibility. That is also one of my core beliefs, that we all create our own reality and that we have responsibility to be the drivers in our own life. Also, this little guy is driving a little red Corvette in honor of Chris this week. In addition to my business, I'm also very passionate about my Lucy, a golden retriever who's about 54 pounds. She is a rescued golden retriever, and she also happens to be a registered therapy dog. She is a reading therapist, and one Saturday a month, you will find us at a Hennepin County Library listening to children read out loud. In fact, Lucy is a great reader. She's a very patient listener. And in fact, on Saturday, May 14th, the two of us will be at Southdale Library from 10:30 to 12, listening to kids read. So if you know any 5 to 11-year-olds who are available on Saturday morning, bring them over to Southdale Library and you can sign up for a 15-minute reading appointment with Lucy or one of her pals. There are 2 other dogs that will be available listening. So I'm very excited to have been able to tell you about 2 of my greatest passions, and I look forward to getting to know all of you either through my business, Grow, or at the library with Lucy.
It's always nice to get to know our members. And next up we have Vince, who is obviously a longtime member. And when I asked him about his clutter on his desk, he had mentioned something about a VCR. I'm not even really sure exactly what that is. But anyways, please help us welcome Vince.
Morning, everyone. Today's speech is titled "The Best Laid Schemes of My Smith." This is from a poem called To a Mouse. And if you recall, a lot of people will probably know this slightly a bit paraphrased. It was descatified, this is a Scottish poem, it was kind of de-scodified by John Steinbeck in his book, The Of Mice and Men. The original phrasing is the best laid schemes of mice and men aim at a, and he rephrased it as the best laid plans of mice and men off to go awry. So like you said, this is kind of, if you're wondering where I got that, that's where I got it. And I was reminded of this past Saturday. Let's go to the zoo, says Dad. We have a membership, family memberships. We can go whenever we want. And if you have young children like I do, I have 3 kids all under the age of 5, you gotta find ways to kill some time. You don't want to sit around watching TV all day, right? And we were really bored, and kids like that kind of stuff, and monkeys and whatever, and making the sound and whatever. And like I said, kind of beats watching TV all day. The kids, the 2 of the 3 kids were a little bit under the weather. They were kind of recovering, and they were feeling okay. And I said, it shouldn't be a big of a problem. There shouldn't be that big of a deal here. They seemed fine. They seemed really up and with good spirits and everything. And we're just going to take it easy, leave it in a stroller, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? Everything should be fine if they're not 100%. Besides, it's a great day. We got to get outside, right? So my wife says, "Where's my visor?" She loses a lot of stuff. She kind of just randomly puts things wherever she feels like putting them. Essentially, it's, I'm done with this. It goes, wherever I'm at right now, I'm done with this. It goes, there's never a place for anything. And of course, whenever it gets lost, we almost drop everything and find it, right? But oddly enough, when you ask her, can I help you to find it, she doesn't really want help. But she's just going to let you know, I can't find it. When somebody tells me something, I figure they're probably telling me for a reason. Maybe they won't help, but apparently she doesn't really want help. She declined my request, and so we just kind of waited until she figured out what she wanted to do when it comes to blocking the sun out of her eyes. Then, where's her annual breast pump? And she wasn't going to learn around the whole mechanical one. We've got a 3-month-old child, and she's breastfeeding. And she didn't want to bring up, this thing you got to plug in, like, we're going to do that. And she just wants to hop in, a private area and do business. And in this case, I was like, I was thinking I should ask her, but she'll probably get mad at me. So I just thought, why can't she find it? Where is she not looking? And I looked in one place, and that's where it was. So then, finally, okay, we're off. And I have some fun today, just like the national institution. It happened, okay? I don't care that it was delayed half an hour, 45 minutes. I don't care if the kids are in the weather. We're going to go out. We're going to enjoy this beautiful day for November on Saturday. Really want to be outside. I didn't want to be cooking my kids up inside. So we're driving along, and I think, well, it's an interesting sound I hear back there. Oh, apparently my 22-month-old threw up, and it was a lot. It was all over the place. So we had to pull over. We were going to drive in that. That's disgusting. I clean up little Mr. Felix while Mom cleaned the seat up and everything. And he had to wear one of Mom's zip-up sweater she keeps in the van in case she gets cold with it. So it's kind of weird. He looked like a fryer with pink guy. So we turned around and we had to go. We took it easy indoors all day, like I didn't want to do. We watched TV and did all this stuff I didn't really feel like doing. And it was a waste of it. But you kind of want to make the best of it and just enjoy things and stuff like that. So the moral of the story is roll up the punches. Whatever life throws at you, make lemonade. If things are kind of being an obstacle in your way of enjoying things or getting things done, just say, you know what, it's okay. Don't worry about it too much. And of course, parenting is quite mature. And this thought process works in business too. You kind of lay out a whole bunch of things and you say, I want to get these things done. And we're going to do it all this way. And then, a vendor goes under, maybe parts goes offline, whatever it is. Some jerk decides to remove pad left from NPM, whatever it is. Things happen, and you just kind of have to roll with it and say, okay, we're going to do this and this, we're going to patch it up, we're not going to worry too much about it. Because worrying about things doesn't really help. The way I kind of see it is, there's 2 different ways of worrying. You can worry, like, oh no, what am I going to do? It doesn't really help. You have to think, okay, this is important, I need to address it. That's the only kind of constructive worry that I can imagine. So with that, I think turn back over to our listeners.
Thank you, Vince, and what a great segue with rolling with punches. Today we have William as our general evaluator, who actually was not supposed to be, but is filling in. So thank you for rolling with punches. Welcome, William.
first of all, in my role as general evaluator, we will vote on our best speaker today. So I'll ask everybody to put their heads down. And our first speaker today was Gwen with her icebreaker. And I'm sorry, I forgot the title. Please raise your hand if you thought Gwen was a better speaker. Thank you. And our second speaker was Vince. I'm struggling a little on his title as well. Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men. Please raise your hand if you thought Vince was a better speaker. Okay, thank you. You may raise your hand. Next, we'll move to the evaluations. My evaluators today were Leanne, thank you for the primer, and who was my other evaluator? Mohammed. So the first speaker was, putting this all together as I go, first speaker was Gwen. And please give your evaluation of Gwen's speech.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. So Gwen, it was great to get to know you in your first speech as a fairly new member. It's always fun to learn more personal background of members. You had a great use of slides. You came out very confident. I didn't see that you were using notes. You had great eye contact, very confident demeanor. I liked that you actually used a little Prince reference in your slides. I thought was timely and sort of cute. I also liked that you included your dog and you talked about being dog rescue and how that was part of your life. And, service work that you and your dog do was great. I think, and you used the word of the day right away. So awesome use of that. So in terms of the beginning, I think was fine. The middle, I kind of wanted more info about you. Just from a personal curiosity level, I wanted to know a little bit more about your business, maybe your types of clients, what does a day-to-day look like? Just a little more curious. Also a little bit more background on your dog. I was also curious because I'm a big fan of dog rescue, so that was just curiosity. In terms of your conclusion, it felt like, again, a little bit flat. I wanted a little bit more meat in the middle part, and then maybe a little bit more stronger ending. So in terms of feedback, those are my main points. But again, really, really calm, very confident, very eye contact, very confident. So I think you're a very, very good speaker. I just wanted to know a little bit more about you. So, nice job.
Thank you, Leanne, for that evaluation. Next, we'll move to Mohammed, who will be evaluating Vince.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Vince, your speech on the best laid scheme of mice and men was an entertaining speech, as we had talked about before your speech. I found that having that quote from the poem and setting that stage up in your introduction really helped me come up or think about where you're going to go with this and how you brought it in with your whole family and what you were going to do on Saturday, get the best laid plan, get everybody going, get into the car. You had me going with that, and I thought there should have been more in the body of the speech, but I found that in the conclusion, you kind of brought it all together and said, we make any plans that we make may or may not work well, but I really enjoyed it, and what really resonated with me was when the fact that you said, well, if you ask me or you say something out loud, I assume you're asking to help me. I do the same thing, and I get in trouble for that as well. But I thought your introduction was good. Your body was good as well, and your conclusion is where you had more of the meat of the story. That's where everything kind of came together, and I thought it was a little bit long, but I think it was appropriate. Your slides were okay, and I know this was an impromptu speech for you, so I'm not gonna go through all of them, but your slides were a little bit lacking. You were using them as notes, but it was an impromptu speech for you, so I'm not gonna say a whole lot about that. But otherwise, your body language was good, but again, you were going back and forth a little bit. Again, impromptu speech, not that big of a deal, at least in my mind. I think I might disagree. Your eye contact was there. The one thing I'll say to end this is, you know how to make God laugh, right? You make a plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed, for that evaluation. Vince, with the evaluations fresh in our mind, we'll now vote on the best evaluator. Please lower your heads. Raise your hand if you thought Leanne did the better evaluation today. Please keep your hands up high. Thank you. And raise your hand if you thought Mohammed was the better evaluator today. Thank you. You may now put your arms down. We will now move on to the grammarian for their report. And let's not forget the word of the day was raring. There's one more usage of the word of the day. Grammarian, please give your report.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I will start with table topics. And first, Nick, as a table topic master, you are almost champion again today, but no, you're second place. But I did count you, and this is a common thing. We do sometimes use fewer words, so and but also we use so as a run-on sentences, and I will talk about run-on sentences later for one special person who doesn't know this. So Mohammed, you did during table topic 2 you know, and later you were kind of offended. So I did not count what you know, but I counted. And during evaluation, you did several ups and downs. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, words during table topics. One so, and you used word of the day. And Mohammed, you used word of the day during table topic. Eric, 2 ups during table topic and word of the day. Mike, you did not have filler words, but you use it with run-on sentence. I know you like to impress people with your never-ending sentence because it's very fun. People feeling when you stop and you never stop and you go in, but this is on some hands kind of maybe distracting because your sentence never ends and people may lose idea what's going on. We definitely impressed. So this is run-on sentence with using and you use word of the day and you did several visual effects kind of in your speech, so we will talk about it later. Lisa, you used word of the day and had no filler words, and similar visual speaking was once, but kind of about the frog. Yes, yes, good job. You no filler words, no word of the day, no visual. Please. Same applies to you. Nothing bad, nothing spectacular, but it was good that you have a current speech. Johnny, no filler words, no word of the day, nothing special, still good. When speaking portion, so today you beat Nick for filler words, so usually he's a champion, so you have several and you use so and again for to continue your speech. So this is what to look forward to kind of how to reduce it. Next, Jesse Toastmaster, several and the second part. Vince, as a speaker, used so to do with run-on sentences a couple times, not much. And Lemons and Lemonade, very famous stuff, but we used it as visual stuff. Yes. Will, no filler words, nothing. Good. Leanne during evaluation was about 9 arms. It's a filler word still under Nick and Grant. Mohammed, 2 arms, I told you. So for this visual speaking, and Mike did it twice about clouds. Also, I'm giving it to you. So first, take and shake and
Thank you, Alex, for your very thorough and lengthy report. Next, we'll move on to the timer. Would you please give your report?
Okay, so we got off to a bit of a late, well, we got started on time, but the first part of the meeting ran a little bit long. That's okay though, because everybody else was raring to go, and we're actually a bit early on time right now. So, Vince, as our 1 minute Toastmaster, you clocked in at 1 minute 15 seconds. Table topics, Mohammed, you were 1 minute 30 seconds. Loris, you were 128. Eric, 107. Mike, 124. Lisa, 117. Will, 104. The woman in the lovely turquoise necklace, whose name I don't recall, you were right on time with 1 minute 1 second. Jody, very entertaining, at 1 minute 10 seconds. And then with our speeches, they both were a bit short. Run your icebreaker, which we technically don't time, but it came in as 3:48. Vince, your impromptu speech, the best played schemes of mice and men, was 4 minutes 50 seconds, so you just squeaked in under the line there.
Very unusual.
And then our evaluators, Leanne, you were 1 minute 45 seconds, and Mohammed, you were right on time with 2 minutes.
Thank you, Katie. Moving on, we will now go to our table topics master, Nick, to award today's best table topics answer.
All right, sounds good. Well, I had a pretty good idea who he's going to go to, but after Alex's serious evaluation, I definitely know who he shouldn't go to. Well, that was you for not using the word. Okay. So it's not going to go there, but my suggestion is we received 3 excellent answers from our guests. So I think this will be going to 3 ladies, Lisa, Chris, and Jody.
Thank you, Nick. Next, we'll go to the award for the best speaker and best evaluator. So first of all, for best speaker, let's hear a drum roll, please. After a lengthy debate, discussion, and evaluation, today's best speaker is actually a tie between Gwen and Vince. So I'm going to hand it to someone between the two of you, and I'll say thank you. Thank you. Next, we move to the best evaluator. Our best evaluation award is a keychain with a fish on it because evaluations are key. Today's best evaluator was Mohammed. Going back to the checklist. General evaluator gives his or her general evaluation meeting. Thank you for the Lino Lakes people coming to our meeting today and taking the gilded gavel. It was nice to see a different club's response to the way things are done. I picked up a few pointers listening to the way you guys and gals did your answers, so thank you. One thing that I wanted to say was when I was counting votes, it was very difficult to count actually who's voting and who's not. Sometimes this is hard to see. This is very easy for me to see. So the second time I said, please keep your hands up so that I can count them. So when we're voting, make sure your hand goes up high and the evaluator can see it. Alex, on your evaluation of the helper words, I think, and I said this before, the word so is my generation's like. You will see professional speakers start off with so. They'll take every sentence and put so in front of it. They'll put so when they change directions, when they change ideas. And it's very difficult for me not to do it as well. But I've learned from watching other people and from practicing here that when we stick those words in, what we're really trying to do is give our brain just a little bit of time to catch up to our mouth. So
there's actually a linguistic word for this. They're called verbal pauses.
Verbal pauses. I would 100% agree. When I watch people do a speech and they say the word so or is another very big one in the technical community. Today, we're going to speak about DHCP, blah, blah, blah. They're buying themselves time. So just think about what you're going to say. So there's a little so in there. Think about what you're going to say and say it. Don't worry about having to put in those little, what did you call them again, Kate?
Verbal pauses.
Verbal pauses. You don't need them. They don't help present your message any clearer. I thought it was a good meeting. We have a lot of people here today. I'm glad to see that. Jesse, I think you did a great job as Toastmaster. I can tell that you prepared. You knew what was coming. set up the machines, you flipped it back between the speakers, all professional type activity that's good to see. For that, I will turn it back over to our Toastmasters.
It's great having you guys here. You did a bang up job. I have a couple of awards as well to give out, one of which is the Spark Plug Award. And this is going to the person who ignited the meeting the most. So Eric, when you first came in, obviously your new membership kind of ignited the meeting for one, but then you did a bang up job on the table topics as though you've been here for a while. So. And the Fuzzy Mouse Award usually goes to the person who took a technical topic and broke it down, distilled it. I don't think that was here today, so I'm gonna pass on that one. As far as the overall meeting goes, again, great to have you guys here. Everyone did a great job. Fill-in role as well. Sorry I didn't see you back there as you came in. Great job. I don't know. That's all I have to say, and I'll welcome back our president, Vince Bellinger.
Thank you, Jesse. And Jesse did a great job as president. Let's give him one more, as Toastmaster here. And let's give him one last round of applause. Do you have any new business? How about announcements? This is where we would go through the thing, or should we wait till after the adjourn?
I have an announcement, a couple of announcements actually.
Sure.
There's a new user group starting up with myself and David Boyke from the Particular Software / End Service Bus Company. That'll be the second, I believe. It's the first Thursday. It's a .NET user group, first Thursday of every month. But in May, myself and David Boyke will be there presenting. Hope to see some of you there. If you're interested in distributed systems, messaging, fault tolerant systems, all those kind of things. It's pretty interesting stuff. I invite you to come check it out. Sorry?
Right here.
Right here.
Second
Right here at
Thursday.
ILM.
At what time?
I'm not sure. It's on the meetup.net user group. We're on Meetup.
Probably in the 7 o'clock range.
The other thing is I have tickets to go to Ignite, and I believe I'm still going to go even though the weather's a little yucky. I have 2 free tickets. So if somebody wants to go, you can just have those tickets for free.
Any other announcements? Right, so as I was saying, we needed some people to step up for presenting anything. I believe that the coding one has been kind of wide open because I imagine there's going to be a lot of people in our group that would want to do that, so we kind of left that one open. This technologist one is more about like kind of sort of outside of programming, but programming related. It's been kind of locked up because we reached out to people who might be kind of on the outskirts of that. And we still have openings for Internet of Things and for future, whatever that means. Some dystopian 1980s type thing, mind control, chips and brain, whatever it is. Or if you wanted to talk about something cool, like here's the tech on the horizon, whatever it is, let me know. And what I like to show the following schedule. And the Toastmaster for next week is Jonathan Ullman. So if you could please think of a theme and get that out to us, way before Monday afternoon, that would be fantastic. And
I may need to cancel on that. I don't know if it'll be good.
well, figure that out as quickly as possible. So maybe Jonathan will be sending out an email with the theme, and if he does that, please respond in kind. Thank you. And with that, I will ask the timer for a closing thought of the day.
Well, since I left the little green book over there, I will instead pull a quote from my favorite author, Terry Pratchett. Everything starts somewhere, although many physicists disagree.
With that, I will adjourn the meeting and we will have to kiss this caddy bye.
On behalf of the Lion Lakes Toastmaster Club, we would like to get everybody up front if we could for a picture so we can physically feel down. So Phyllis, are you? Your camera, can you take it? Do you want to do a picture? So we can have official members. You're actually not.
Yes, I will.
You're actually not.
I'm not a member, so I
Get one end of the gavel.
Have to get a whole other block, but here you go.
If mine times out.
Just in case, I guess you guys.
You guys get one in.
Squash it.
We can look like a tug of war.
You're on lean back.
I hope I'm taking
Your ink's too low. You can get all of us in there. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. We enjoyed it. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming.
So my dad actually just turned that wrong down.
You have to send the shirt.
Get one down.
You have to go to the site. Date.
Sure. Because we had it out.
That happened this morning? Well, that's part of it. Do they, are they gonna give us some descriptions of what the roles are? Yeah. I'm just gonna follow the way. Yes.
I don't know.
But when people do what I'm supposed to do well.
I don't know if it was a postmaster site or just.
Yep, that's the 2 out of 5.
The two was. Yes.
I am not.
Are you still teaching for the software guild?
I just finished up on Friday. That's the reason why I'm able to take it.
They're starting up another one. Yeah, I talked to David about that at the code camp. And then one of my prior coworkers, Corbin March, he just signed on.
I think we're still live.
Oh, really?